What's up YouTube, Awesome Yu-Gi-Oh here, and today I'm here with a deck profile on Satellarknights for the April 1st, 2015 ban list. Highly requested. I know why, of course, because this is definitely one of the better decks right now, at least from a anti-meta perspective. It's just a solid deck. It's not that difficult to play. Probably one of the easier decks right now, to be honest. And of course, with the release of the Star Seraphs, this deck will only get better. Might even be a serious contender going into the national formats, or going into the Nats season, I mean. So yeah, without further ado, I'll show you what I have right now. Very low monster count, of course, your triple Deneb, triple Altair. I'm running triple Onyx High and just a 1 Vega. What you could do is 2-2, but Onyx High is a better draw to start with. Vega only makes good hands better, so Vega is more a card I want to rota in, so I'm not running double Vega, because this is more of a standalone useful card, and Vega just isn't. So I feel like 3 and 1 is definitely the way to go, and this is actually all the monsters I'm running. What you could do is go with Thunder King in the main deck, because only 10 monsters might not seem as much, but of course you're also playing triple reinforcements of the army, so 10 monsters is actually good enough. If you use them right, and if you know when to Deguss or Emerald some monsters back. So yeah, in my opinion, these 10 monsters is pretty much what I've always been playing. Honest was something I implemented at some point, but it's just it doesn't really do anything right now. So yeah, Honest isn't that good either. So the only monster I would consider would be a second Vega, but then I'd cut a Onyx. Mabel Regel, but to get over the Genlark, but that's not really something that is that problematic. I have some main deck outs already, so like I said, maybe a Thunder King, because Thunder King can be really good, but Thunder King can hurt your own deck as well. That's it for the monsters, like I said, 10. Then 10 spells, we're getting triple reinforcements of the army, so you're actually running 13 monsters. Triple Upstart, even more consistency. Double MST, now this is actually a deck I am running MST in. Because the MST doesn't really hurt you that much in this deck, like it would be doing in other decks, because you don't have like combo hands where you need like 3 to 4 card combos to make the optimal play. You're only really playing with 1 card all of the time, 1 monster, and then just set a bunch of back row, and 3 or 4 back row doesn't really make that much of a difference, because I am running a lot of floodgates. And of course, if you have to face cards like Mistake, which really hurt this deck. Skill Drain, it is a one-off right now, but they can still draw it. This is definitely a deck I want to have some outs with, because there aren't many other options to play around cards like Mistake and Skill Drain in this deck, which other decks do have. So in this deck I definitely suggest you run 2 MST in the main deck. Not 3, 3 is just overkill, but 2 is the fine number. And then Book and Raigeki. Pretty much staples right now, in my opinion. So that's 10 spells, so we have 10 monsters, 10 spells, and now we have 20 traps. I definitely like my Satellar deck to be trap heavy, because what you want to do is like have 1 spell or 1 monster, and have at least 3 traps in every hand you draw. That would be optimal. So 20 with that traps, that's pretty much the number you're going to get. Triple Stellanova Elva, of course. Triple Call of the Haunted. You all know how this works. Onyx High, Call, or Oasis, which is a 4th and a 5th call. I didn't want to go 3 and 3, triple of both, because these cards can break your hand. So I decided on what's the most appropriate number, and I felt like 5 was that number. Because you don't want to have like 2 calls and an Oasis. That's just too much cards. You can deal with, you can cope with 2 of these. You're opening 2 of these 5, but 3 or more, that's that doesn't help you playing more Yu-Gi-Oh, because really the 1 is only you want to resolve. Nor does it stop your opponent from playing Yu-Gi-Oh, what you really want to do in this deck. So 5 is definitely the correct number. Then the triple Mind Crush, which is pretty much a staple right now, in my opinion, in any deck. And triple Anti-Spell Fragrance. Now for those of you who don't know, this card can pretty much lock Necros in the usual way, of course, which it does with every deck. They have to set their spells. But what you can do is actually make through a river, when you have this phase up, so the Necros player has to set like 3-4 spells. You make Trigger. Everything bounces back to your hand, including your own anti-spell fragrance. You reset your anti-spell fragrance and flip it again in their standby phase, which pretty much means they will never be activated. They'll never be able to activate their spells unless they top deck the MST or something. So yeah, anti-spell fragrance definitely a funny card in Satellarknight. Is definitely a card I want to main 3 of. Pretty much since Necros is still going to be the best deck, and your Burning Abyss matchup, which is another really good deck, is really pretty decent. So I didn't really hard to put these in, even though they're not really good against Burning Abyss. Double Mirror Force, double Phoenix Chain. This is mostly for Necros, but it's just a good card in general right now. And of course, Mirror Force. A lot of people are running 3 and 3. You can't run 3 of Phoenix Chain in this deck. I mean, yeah, it's cool when you bounce it back, but you do have a lot of continuous cards that will stick on the field if you don't have the opportunity to make Trigger. So yeah, I feel like 2 Phoenix Chain is definitely a number, and I never liked 3 Mirror Force. I feel like 2 has always been the correct number. Only deck I might consider running 3 Mirror Force in would ever be a Senju, pretty much. So 2 and 2, 2 chains and 2 forces is definitely the number I've always felt most comfortable with. And then 2-1 of the One Ring, the One Ring, Lord of the Rings, Ring of Destruction. It's a pretty decent splashable card now. It's not as good as it once was, of course, but it's some cool chainable spot removal during an opponent's turn. So it's a decent card to run in some of these more roguish decks. And then the 1 Phoenix Chain, of course, or 1 Vanity Emptiness, of course. It's the one, but still a stupid card. No reason not to run 3 of that. For the extra, you have your 1 Constellar Diamond. This is the card that pretty much says no to Shaddoll and Burning Abyss. This is your 1 win card against those decks. I've actually considered running 2, but your extra deck space is relatively tight, and 1 is enough. 1 Deltros, 1 is definitely enough for right now. When the Star Staffers come out, you might want to up this to 2. The double Trigger, because this is better than Deltros right now. 1 Tsukiyomi for the first in combo. Arc with Emptiness, really good. Cowboy, Omega. This is a card I was a bit iffy on, but with Burning Abyss going to Raigeki breaks and stuff, and Yosenju being kind of a thing, Constellar Omega can be a really blowout, and 24 body, which you can keep on the field, is never bad. Excitan, Emerald, really important to shuffle back your Altairs in the mid to late game. Gargorian to protect your floodgates. If you have this with the anti-spell fragrance, yeah, it's overrid Emptiness. Emptiness is a bit more difficult because Emptiness will still go to the grave if you redirect like an MST to one of your own cards and they go to the grave. But definitely with the anti-spell fragrance, is a stupid card. Castell, some spot removal. Not me. I'm not using Diamond Dyer. I'm using Castell in this one. Diamond Dyer is better in the Necros matchup because Diamond Dyer allows you to clear your own field, so you wouldn't be able to get Trish. But like I said, you always have like at least 2 traps in your hand. So you're going to commit to the field pretty much anyway, so in that regard Diamond Dyer doesn't really do anything extra for you, and then Castell is better in my opinion. Dweller, Rhapsody of course, and Ragnar Zero. Tanky is a thing in the game right now, and Clifford's still an annoying deck for this deck to beat. It always has been your worst matchup. This deck has gone a little bit better since Clifford has got a bit weaker, but if they have the skill drain, you're still going to, and you don't draw the MST, you can still lose. So Ragnar Zero to prevent some early game blowouts from the Clifford players. It's a card still worthy of considering in the extra deck. Side deck, 2 Feeler for Necros mostly, Triple Maxi for Bujin really, for Burning Abyss, both start with a B. Burning Abyss. The 1 DD Warrior Lady, because this is insearchable out to the Jinlock, which does hurt you to Jinlock if they get it up for, off first turn. You don't draw the Raigeki or the book. It does become a lot more difficult for you to play Yu-Gi-Oh, but you still have the 3 reinforcements of the army. You can roto for this and just out the Jinlock right there. And even against Winda, because Winda's still a good card against you too. So Winda you can't even Raigeki break, or Raigeki. You can't Book of Moonwind, of course, but Regeki wouldn't be out again to win that. So yeah, the Warrior Lady definitely a good card. Silencia, more cards for more like field-rich cards against Necros. Third MST, Dimensional Fissure, still a card that really hurts. Whatchamacallit? Necros. Let's see, I'll keep that to the back. 3 Shadow Impressing Mirror, Shadol Burning Abyss, Soul Drain for Burning Abyss, and then the Crush card Virus. But awesome, Yu-Gi-Oh! How do you use Crush card Virus? Well, you actually don't have too many targets, but Berserker is one. In the Necros matchup, if you can resolve the Berserker and you have the Crush card Virus, you can clear their grave from the spell cards, you can clear their hand from their monsters, and they just don't have any cards left, so they can play Yu-Gi-Oh! Because, well, you can't play Yu-Gi-Oh! When you don't have any cards in your hand, or on the field, or anywhere, even in the grave. This can be an absolutely blowout against Necros with the Berserker. You know, Berserker is going to banish 2 from their grave, and you Crush guard the Berserker away, and during their draw phase, they can scoop. So yeah, I've liked attacking the Crush card in Stellars. So that is the deck profile on Stellars, as has been requested for quite a while. This is one of the more linear decks. It's one of the easier decks to play, but it's a really good deck. It's really consistent. The only problem I have with the deck is that you're pretty much always doing the same thing, which can become a bit boring. But I've checked my deck out a little bit, so it's a bit more fun for me to play, not for my opponent, because 9 out of 10 times you just say no to your opponent. I will not allow you to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Which card isn't that fun for your opponent, but it's kind of fun on the other side. At least that's what I always feel like. So, thank you guys for watching. In the comment section down below, let me know what you think of this deck and how competitive it is right now. Also, let me know if you have some tips for this deck. And I'll see you guys the next time. Bye!